So let's move on to the fourth league of the day. Spin the wheel. What will we get next? Blue-white Belcher. All right, so everyone's familiar with red-green Belcher, right? It's this deck. Well, this ain't red-green Belcher. This is blue-white Belcher. So what are we doing here? Well, of course, it's a Belcher deck. So the deck is trying to get to 4 mana for Belcher, and then 3 mana to activate Belcher, and then they mill the whole deck over and blast the opponent, because every land in the deck is a modal double-faced card, and therefore technically not a land on its front face. And to that end, we have cards like Lotus Bloom to potentially ramp out faster. But instead of the super fast red-green version, we have blue and white cards. So Pented Prism, Talisman of Progress, and Lotus Bloom to get going faster. Then there is Teferi Time Raveler to protect the combo. Also Force of Negation, also Disrupting Shoal. And then, of course, the One Ring is in the deck, because why wouldn't it be? But then there is an alternative win condition in here. We've got Thassa's Oracle and Selective Memory. And Selective Memory is a 4-mana sorcery that says search your library for any number of non-land cards, exile them, then shuffle. And since all of the cards in the deck are technically not lands, you can exile as many of them as you want. So you can potentially go turn 4, Selective Memory, or turn 3 if you have these mana rocks. Exile everything except Thassa's Oracle. Next turn, draw, cast Thassa's Oracle, win the game. Or if you have 6 mana, do both. So that's the main game plan of the deck. The lands also have a little bit more utility than normal than the red-green ones. Of course, these big 7 mana expensive ones do not, but we have Solundi Vision to look at the top 6 and get an instant or sorcery. We've got Bayin Veil, which pseudo-fogs the opponent, not very useful. Skyclave Cleric, which when enters gains 2 life and is a 1/3 for 2 mana. And Jwari Disruption, which is a 2 mana force spike, so that is also potentially usable. Sideboard, 1 copy of Rip, 2 Sanctifier on Vex, Leyline of Sanctity to protect from hand disruption stuff, March of Otherworldly Light, Mystical Dispute, Chalice of the Void. All right, so let's jump into a league with Blue-White Belcher. Round 1 on the play with Blue-White Belcher. Well, this hand has what? Double Lotus Bloom, 1 land, and then it has Selective Memory. So I think this hand's actually a keep. Yeah, because we can go turn 3, these both unsuspend, and then we go Selective Memory, get Thassa's Oracle in the deck, and then we also Force a Negation. All right, I will keep. Opponent mulls to 6. All right, suspend Lotus Bloom, play this tapped. Pass the turn, opponent. What are we playing against? Forgotten Cave. I'm putting this most likely is Calibrated Blast. Wow, we actually drew a 2nd land, so we'll play that. All right, pass to the opponent. If I saw double Lotus Bloom suspend turn 1, I'd be sweating. Forest. Is this Assault Loam? Life from the Loam. Wow, it's Assault Loam, isn't it? All right, suspend, 1 more turn. Huh, another land. Well, play that tapped. Pass it back. Dredges, Ewit, Seismic Assault, Fury. Yeah, so it's Assault Loam. Plays Life from the Loam again with no targets. All right, so Lotus Bloom, cast, and then Lotus Bloom, cast. 4th land. So I can win right now, right? I have 4, 7, 10 mana. So I can go Selective, exile everything except Oracle, ring, draw, play Oracle, win the game. Shock. Let's make sure the ring resolves. Cast Selective Memory. So now I'm going to search the library for any number of non-land cards. So now I'm going to exile everything. This may take a bit. Is this everything? No, it just didn't select some of them for some reason. This one. So I'm going to leave my library with just 2 Thassa's Oracles in case my opponent has, like, I don't know, Subtlety or something. That's everything, right? Everything in green is being exiled. All right, done. Draw. Oracle. All right, well, that was a turn 3 win with Blue-White Belcher. Our opponent is playing Assault Loam, so we probably want Rip. Sanctifier doesn't actually stop lands. What else do I want against Assault Loam? Not really anything else, right? Just Rip. And then what am I cutting? Honestly, not sure what to cut. I'm going to cut 1 Teferi. All right, submit this. I think that first game went about as perfectly as I could have expected from this deck. Big ol' smile on my face. All right, game 2 on the draw. We are playing Blue-White Belcher, and we're playing against Lotus Field. Or against, not Lotus Field, Assault Loam. Let's see. I have Selective Memory, but I only have 1 land, so mulligan this. All right, let's see. Land, and then I have Mana Rocks plus Ring and Belcher. All right, let's keep this and put back probably Oracle. Now let's put back Oracle. Done. Stomping Grounds. Shocked. Ignoble Hierarch. All right, suspend Lotus Bloom. Play this. Go ahead. Lotus Bloom was a great draw. Fetch with Misty, get another Stomping Ground. Plays Utopia Sprawl and Stomping Ground. Plays Seismic Assault. If you're going to run Mana Dorks, why not run Arbor Elf? Unless they're also running that. All right, play this tapped and go ahead. So next turn, we play Pented Prism. Well, I guess no, we don't, because we only have one color. So next turn, we play Talisman. Opponent plays Renin 6. So the Seismic Assault plan is a lot worse. No, Boseiju. Well, we're dead then, aren't we? Boseiju loop, we lose. There's another Lotus Bloom, so let's suspend that. Play another land. All right, pass to the opponent. Don't know how we get out of this now. So the problem is they can Boseiju a land and then pick it back up, and they can Boseiju Bloom and upkeep. Boseiju again, yep. And then they pick it back up. Numbers completely and utterly dead, aren't we? All right, so one of these comes off suspend now, right? And then they can just stop us before we get to actually use this mana and everything. No, they didn't. How many counters are on the other one? 2? If I just play Belcher, then they can just shoot Belcher. If I play the 2 Mana Rocks, I at least have some more mana for next turn, maybe. If I Selective Memory now, it doesn't matter. They just blow our land up, and then we're in a position where we can never cast the Oracle. So let's just go sack this for colors, play Pented Prism, play Talisman, and then just pass it back. So there originally was there was a Besiegeable land in the sideboard of this deck, and I cut it because I didn't want to essentially play that game with the opponent. I figured it would be better to have other sideboard cards for different matchups than to potentially get Boseiju locked, but here we are getting Boseiju locked. All right, so now they just blow up Pented Prism, right? No, they're picking up Misty Rainforest? They're just going to stop Besiejuing us? Really? Why? So they just played the Boseiju, right? And then they don't have it in their hand? They just played the Boseiju. They just played the Boseiju. Maybe they misclicked it and accidentally put it into play. All right, well, what do I do from here then? I can play Belcher, but then I don't have enough mana to actually activate it next. Oh, no, I do, because this is coming off suspend, right? Selective Memory is the hardest one for them to interact with, right? They'd have to find answers to both Bloom and Talisman of Progress, whereas Belcher, they only have to find one answer. This is 6, 7, 8, 9, and whatever assault they have. So let's just go Memory. All right, eat everything. This feels really bad to do in Moto. It feels like the cards are, like they're lagged or something, and a bunch of them times when I click on them, they just don't light up. I guess they could have played what? So Endurance could keep them alive. So if that's the case, I want to keep 2 Oracles. Exile everything but 2 Oracles. So then I play the first Oracle, and if they have Endurance to stop me, then I have the second Oracle. All right, done. Pass back to the opponent. Cycle Forgotten Cave. Chalice of the Void for 2. No! Oh, wait, we can Teferi pick it up. Oh, thank God. Lotus Boom. Cast the Bloom. Draw. Blue. White. Teferi. Veil of Summer. No! No, I can't bounce their stuff, and I can't play Oracle because it gets countered. So, and then I just take Lethal here. Darn. All right. Yeah, they got us good. All right. Sideboard. All right, so they're playing Chalice of the Void, so Teferi back in. Probably March as well. What am I cutting? So these Disrupting Shoals don't counter that, so I can take those out. And then just one of the Serum Visions. All right, let's do that. Submit. All right, game 3 on the play. We've got land, pented, no second land, mull. All right, land, pented, Oracle, Selective Memory. Keep, put back the Ring. No, just put back Oracle, because if I selective, I'm just going to have Oracle anyway. Put Oracle back. All right, play this tapped and pass. Opponent plays Forest, Utopia sprawls it, names red. All right, bolt in Emeria and play Pented Prism. Back to you, opponent. Opponent shocks in Stomping Ground. Boseiju, no! All right, opponent plays Ignoble Hierarch. All right, well, play this and pass. So if they find Renin 6 or Loam, we're dead. 2 manas, that's the Renin 6, and that's GG's. Yep. Well, this deck loses to Boseiju loops, so what are you going to do? All right, well, let's not play this out. We have no answer to this. I guess what could I possibly... I would have to draw back-to-back, like, I would have to draw white land plus rip immediately. If my next 2 draws are untapped white source plus rest in peace, we can survive. Or I guess I could draw force. No, I can't draw force. I can draw... No, it has to be exactly white plus rest in peace. They didn't pick Boseiju back up with Renin 6, or they did that last turn. Oh, there's the untapped white land. There's the untapped white land, guys. There's another white land. What options would Belcher have to defend against this? Pithing Needle or something? Yeah, that would pretty much be it. You'd have to stop them from activating Boseiju. So it's either prevent the activation of Boseiju or rip their graveyard, so they can't keep looping it. The problem is, yeah, so it's pretty much Pithing Needle and that's it, right? They're basically putting no pressure on us, though, so I can keep going until I eventually try to find Rip. Well, it looks like they're going to cast Chalice of the Void X's 2. Okay, so now we can't even win because now Rip is dead. All right, would we have drawn the Rip? No. Yeah, so I guess that would be a reconsideration. All right, 1 game down, on to round number 2. All right, round 2 on the play with blue-white Belcher. We've got multiple double Lotus Bloom hand again. Seems great. Let's keep. All right, suspend, suspend. Play this tapped. Pass to the opponent. Dark Slick Shores. Probably mill. Thoughtseize us. Well, we've got 2 game-winning pieces here, so they can't Thoughtseize both of them. They're taking Belcher. All right, so yield to these. We drew another land. So let's just play this one tapped. Pass back. Polluted Delta. So maybe they're not mill. Maybe this is just blue-black control and they're playing Dark Slick Shores. All right, Serum Visions. All right, let's get Painted Prism. I don't even have white mana, though. Maybe it's better to just have more lands. I'm going to unsuspend 2 Lotus Blooms. That should be enough mana. So yeah, let's just grab the land. Oh, actually, I can get rid of both of these, right? Yeah. So I have 4 lands in my hand already. Yeah, put these both on the bottom. And then I'm going to bolt this in case I want to force spike something. Fetches with Polluted Delta. Watery Grave. Consider. All right, not mill. Subtlety. So this is blue-black control with Dark Slick Shores. Another Dark Slick Shores. All right, so it's going to be really hard to resolve this. Both the Lotus Blooms go down. Cast. So at this point, I think I just go Salundi Vision for more spells to try to find more ways to have counter magic for Selective Memory. This is an instant, so I don't even have to play it now, right? Yeah, all right, so let's just pass to them. They play a 4th land. All right, cast this. Yeah, let's grab Force of Negation. Charbelcher. All right, so I can't double protect the Charbelcher if I play it now. So let's instead just go... This Jwari Disruption is also getting worse and worse as the game goes along. So instead, let's just play Talisman of Progress and then keep passing it back to them. Fetches with Polluted Delta. Gets Watery Grave tapped. Casts Sauron's Ransom. Should I counter this? It's basically a draw 2, essentially. How much mana do I have next turn? 3, 6, 9, 10. So that's enough to have Belcher plus Force of Negation backup, but then if they counter it, then I don't have it anymore. Yeah, I'm just going to counter this. All right, another land. Back to us. So it's another land. 5 cards, a bunch of open mana. So let's say I go Belcher, they go try to counter it. I go counter you back, and then if they have another counter, then this all fizzles. It's not getting any better for me the longer the game goes, though. So I guess let's just try to play Belcher. Or maybe I should just try to play Selective Memory. Yeah, let's do Selective Memory first. That just resolved immediately. All right, so I'm going to leave my library as only counter spells and Thassa's Oracle. I can just leave it as all... Okay, so if I exile too many cards, then Belcher doesn't work, right? So I need to not exile too much. So if I get rid of all of this one, the other Selective Memories, basically just anything that's not useful at this point, right? Lotus Blooms are pretty useless at this point. So is Jwari. And I don't want other Belchers. All right, so that leaves me with how many cards in my deck? 4, 7, 11. I don't actually need that many to mill, right? I only need to mill 8 to kill them. So I think I leave it like that. And then the rest of my deck is just all good draws. It's either Painted Prism to have more mana to fight through them, or it's Teferi, or Oracle, or counter spells, or the Ring to draw cards. Other copies of Charbelcher are also good. So let's do that. And then play this tapped, and then pass it back to them. So the problem with putting it just putting it as only the oracles left in the deck is if they just have counter spells and they just counter those 2 oracles, then we lose the game. And if I put the deck count too low, it means the Belcher doesn't kill them either, so they're not forced to even counter it. So I'm setting up my deck to basically just only have good draws from now on. They play a Watery Grave. Now back to us. All right, Painted Prism. So let's just get a mana advantage over them. So my plan at this point is basically to just keep passing the turn back for as long as I can until I can eventually get to a point where I can just deploy multiple threats at once. Otawara to bounce this. Sure. Island. All right, suspend Lotus Bloom and pass. All right, Teferi they have to interact with, but I'm going to wait until this Lotus Bloom unsuspends and I have more cards because I have no reason to jump the gun right now. They have to just keep passing back, holding up counters for the rest of the game, pretty much. So I have no need to rush in. Charbelcher, all right, pass it back. So they're at 14, so I only need 7 cards left in my deck to actually Belcher kill them. All right, Lotus Bloom, cast the Bloom. Drew a Painted Prism, so let's just play Painted Prism. All right, pass it back. They have 5 cards in hand, and it's unlikely that all 5 of them are counters. Another Painted Prism. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 10, 11, 13, 15 mana, which is enough to do what? Belcher, they have to counter it. Belcher, they have to counter it. That leaves me with 7 mana remaining. So I go Belcher, they counter. Then I go Teferi, they have to counter that. Then I can Belcher again. And then if they have a third counter, that's out. Okay, so let's just play another Pented Prism. All right, pass the turn. Game of Chicken is proceeding. Thassa's Oracle. All right, just pass it back. Opponent flashes in Bowmasters. All right, so we do have to actually interact with them to some degree now. All right, we go to 11. I guess I can just play an Oracle. Thought sees us. Let's just counter that. They counter it back. All right. Well, it resolves. Which one are you taking? I assume they're taking one of the Belchers or Teferi. They took Teferi. All right, there's Force. So what happens if I just run out Oracle here? They have 4 cards left with 6 mana. 4, 7, 10, 11, 13, 15, 17. I have enough to do everything, so let's just play Oracle. All right, resolve this ability. Put a card on top of your library, question mark. Yeah, I'll put the ring on top. Put the ring on top. And then pass back. Fatal push this. That's fine. Orcs attack. Plays another land. Okay, they have 3 cards in their hand. So let's play the ring. Ring resolves. Draw with the ring. We drew another ring. All right, well, if this ring's good, I'm fine to just keep passing. So now they can't actually hurt me with these Bowmasters and the army token this turn. All right, well, sure, attack anyway. Back to us. Trigger on the ring. So if I draw now and they flash another Bowmasters in, that represents 4 damage, but I can survive that. So draw. We drew Teferi. All right, so step 1, they have to start fighting this stuff, right? White, blue, blue, cast Teferi. Opponent counter spells. Let's counter back. Blue, blue, blue. Another counter spell, all right? And then how much is remaining? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Belcher, Spell Pierce. I will pay for that. All right, hit you. Wait, it didn't kill them? How did that not kill them? Isn't it double? Reveal cards from the top until you reveal a land card. Deal damage equal to the number of... Oh, no, if it's only double if it's a mountain. Well, that is my mistake. I guess I'll just play Oracle here so I don't die then. All right, I guess we're dead to a removal spell, right? Oh, no, we're not even dead to a removal spell. All right, still got there. Whew. Gotta remember that. It's double if it's a mountain, but it's just the normal amount normally. Okay. Sideboarding, blue-black control. Mystical Dispute in Leyline of Sanctity means that they can't Thought Seize us and the Bowmasters can't target us. Also, Sanctifier Onvec is immune to their removal spells. What's bad? Nothing really. Let's cut an Oracle. How many actual lands are in this deck? 22. All right, so this is probably overboarding. So although they do have Thought Seize, they don't have any other hand disruption. But I probably can't Disrupting Shoal them. Ring gets way worse when they have Bowmasters, but I think it's still fine. Sanctifier Onvec probably isn't what I want to do. I can still just lose to them even if I can block Bowmasters. And then we can't cut lands. What's bad? Pented Prism, because we're never going to be able to like force stuff that fast. And then we're just going to use up the temporary mana that it has. Let's go another Leyline, take out Serum Visions. Let's try this. So if you're going to play this deck, yeah, just have Pithing Needle or something in the sideboard to deal with Boseiju loops. All right, game 2 on the draw against blue-black control. We have 2 lands, Talisman, Mystical Dispute. I guess this is fine. Yeah, I'll keep this. Opponent shocks, fetches with the Delta, shocks Watery Grave. I guess we're getting Thought Seized. We are getting Thought Seized. I'm not sure what they would take here. They took... Oh, right, they can take our lands. And now we draw Sanctity. Sure. Go ahead. All right, second land. Well, we can't do anything, so back to them. All right, we're getting Bowmastered, so we do have to find a way to not lose to this quickly. It means I absolutely have to find a second land as soon as possible. There's a second land. It comes in tapped, but there it is. Tap Darkslick Shores. We get attacked. We go to 15. All right, Talisman. They're just going to counter that. Sure. Back to you, opponent. Well, we have a very, very long clock here. Opponent plays. Lorien revealed to draw 3. Back to us. All right, another Talisman. Pass back to you. Hit for 2 with the Orcs. Opponent plays a tap land. Back to us. I guess what? I try to resolve Teferi, and it definitely doesn't resolve. Subtlety. Yeah, okay, we can't win this. All right, so on the play, I wonder if these things are different. I'm not comfortable relying on the memory plan as much. That can go. All right, let's try this, I guess. All right, game 3 on the play. I have Lotus Bloom, I have a bunch of lands, and I have double Leyline of Sanctity. I will keep this. Opponent mulls to 6, opponent mulls to 5. All right, put both these Leylines into play. Then play this tapped and suspend Lotus Bloom. Pass the turn. Opponent fetches with Polluted Delta, gets an island, plays Pithing Needle, names Charbelcher, sure. So play this, bolt it in, play the Talisman, and pass. Second land, shocking in. Well, there's another Force Negation, so let's just pass it back. So now I do have to draw Selective Memory. or Teferi to bounce that. All right, well, Bowmasters has to target themselves, but it is still a clock. Third land. So I could play Thassa's Oracle just to block, but then I can't actually win the game unless I pick it back up with Teferi at some point, or I guess I can win by bouncing Needle. I probably need to just not sit here and constantly take damage. So let's play Thassa's Oracle. Opponent counter spells. If I force that back, then I lose my Lotus Bloom. So bad. But yeah, all right, I have to force it back. All right, hit that. Get Oracle. Resolve this trigger. So Charbelcher's on the top and Selective Memory's on the top. I don't want either of these. I need to find Teferi. I guess I do want the Charbelcher. I just can't activate it. But then I can't even play the Belcher even if I draw it. So no, let's just put them both on the bottom. Opponent fetches Watery Grave and shocks it in, even though they didn't play anything. All right, back to us. All right, so there's Teferi. So if I just Teferi the Needle right now, then I guess I should just play Teferi and plus it. Teferi. Opponent has a counterspell, sure. All right, pass it back. Opponent fetches to 14. We got this one tapped. Another land. And they pass it back to us. All right, I can't play the ring, so let's just pass it back. Back to the opponent. It looks like they're just passing it back to us. All right, back to us. There's a land, so let's play that tapped and pass it back. Passing it back to us. Selective Memory. I can do that to only get good cards, but let's just play the ring. This lets me hold force up. All right, yeah, they're going to counter it anyway. Pass it back. Even though it's actually really terrible with Bowmasters in play. Okay, back to us. There's Charbelcher. So let's just run it out onto the field. All right, it resolves. Pass it back. So I need to find a Teferi to bounce this. Back to us. Celindy Vision. That's probably better off as a land. So let's play that and then pass. Actually, let me think about this. I have enough mana now. So I probably just want to draw back-to-back-to-back answers for things. But I do need enough cards left in my deck for Belcher to actually kill them. All right, let's go Selective Memory. See if this gets countered. Yeah, they counter it. So pass it back. And they're flashing in Subtlety at end of turn. Well, now we start getting our face beaten in by Subtlety. There's Mystical Dispute, but we can't do anything with that, so pass it back. Subtlety. Nope, Mystical Dispute that. Well, we're getting beaten in with the Subtlety, though. Plays a land. They have one card in their hand. Seagate, that's not going to help, so let's just play that tapped and pass it back. Opponent fetches. We're going to get beaten by Subtlety again. What's the league record so far? We are 1 loss. This is round number 2, and we're probably losing this. This is game 3. Another land. All right, back to us. There's the ring. All right, the ring resolves. Let's just pass it back to the opponent. No reason to make this orc bigger right now. Opponent fetches. All right, they're just passing back to us. All right, I need to find answers, so let's draw a card. Drew another ring. All right, go down to 4, draw for the turn. Let's draw some more. They're pointing them both at Oracle, sure. So we have to resolve this other ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, new ring. All right, replace the old ring. And then let's play... Emiria's Call would actually be a way to get out of this, like if I can draw more white mana. But if I can't, then Bayin Veil's a way to survive the turn against this attack. It's not really. Chump here, lose the game. I need more untapped white anyway, so let's play this tapped. All right, pass it back. All right, back to us. Well, I need to draw. Force Negation. Bowmasters targets Oracle, that's fine. I don't know. Yeah, okay. And then we go down to 3, which is Lethal Subtlety. So I can play this. So let's just draw, and then they'll put 2 on Oracle. All right, there's another ring. So this. All right, ring is good. And let's play this guy as a regular spell. Gain 2 life. And what else? The Bayin Veil may actually be relevant, but the 2 life from here may actually also be relevant, but I need to get more lands down. I guess the 2 life from here is basically the same thing. So let's play this and pass to the opponent. All right, draw an end step. Drew Drawry Disruption. That's really not helpful. Upkeep, go to 4. There's another Belcher, also not helpful. So, yeah, I should just draw. Draw. Opponent has Orcish Bowmasters, which I can't respond to. So I should have played this first, I guess. They can just pay for this. Oh, no, they can't target me, but they can target Oracle. I guess that's fine. And then I draw 2, and then both of these trigger, and they're just going to kill Oracle off. All right, I can still get out of this if I can find Teferi to bounce this Pithing Needle. All right, cast this, trigger, and then this land's not going to be helpful anymore, so let's just play that. And then we'll pass the turn, and we'll chump here and Bayin Veil the rest of their team. Sauron's Ransom. Do I allow that to go through, or do I just counter it? 1, 2, 3. I guess I need Bayin Veil to resolve. They're just doing this main phase. Yeah, let's just counter that. All right, they're not going to fight over it. And then combat. All right, block. Have to chump here. Let's kill one of these Bowmasters off. And then let's cast Bayin Veil. Opponent spell pierces us back. So we would take 4. Yeah, so we have to counter it. So force. All right, resolve that. We take 2. One of the orcs dies, and we are in a precarious position. Mystical Dispute. Ain't gonna cut it. Draw some cards, and then they can just shoot our guy. Well, we've drawn nothing of any use, so that is the game. Unfortunate. On to round number 3. We needed to just draw Teferi, and after all of those cards, did not draw Teferi. Round 3 on the draw with blue-white Belcher. All right, we have only 1 land, so we must mull. 1, 2, 3 lands. No Belcher, no selective memory, but a lot of ramp and some card selection. So I say keep and put back Disrupting Shoal. All right, what's our opponent on? Blooming Marsh. All right, Yawg. All right, against Yawg, I can't afford to take time off. So let's go play this, bolt it, cast Serum Visions. What am I doing next turn? I'm just playing Pented Prism. So bottom both of these. All right, back to the opponent. So I'm just going Bolt, Pented Prism, and then I'm playing Belcher, and then trying to win on turn 4. All right, opponent's playing Grist. Thankfully, Grist is... Well, I guess I can suspend this now, but it's going to be too late. Well, suspend that. Bolt in this. Play Pented Prism, and pass. Makes another token. Plays Young Wolf. All right, we need to survive 2 turns. So we go to 13. Back to us. So let's just play Belcher. Play this tapped, and pass. Orcish Bowmasters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, they have to combo us this turn. They definitely have the Chord mana. Grist, make a token. Land. Fetch. Get a forest. All right, so here comes Yawgmoth. And they can draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 card. Oh, no, they just have Chord. So now they just Chord for Zulaport and we're dead. Because that's basically every creature is 2 damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we're dead. Oh, it's Hapatra? They Chorded for Hapatra? Huh. Why didn't they just Chord for Zulaport and kill us? They decided to take the long way of doing it. So now they're going to Chord for Zulaport. I don't know what the heck was all the rigmarole about. Yeah. What was the point in doing the Hapatra thing first? How did we win this? They accidentally sacked their own Zulaport Cutthroat. All right, we somehow won that. Let's see. Zulaport doesn't target, so Leyline doesn't work. Sanctifier doesn't actually stop their green creatures from being regenerated. Rip does, as does March of Otherworldly Light. Disrupting Shoal is pretty unlikely to actually work, although we can counter a Yawgmoth for free, but nothing else. We can't even counter Yawgmoth if they have Delighted Halfling, so let's just take Shoal out. And then the rest of this is fine, so let's cut a... I guess Force of Negation's not very good. Actually, Force of Negation is probably worse than Disrupting Shoal. Well, it counters Chord. This only counters Yawgmoth, maybe. All right, this is fine. Submit. All right, game 2 on the draw against Yawgmoth. We have 1 land, but 2 Lotus Blooms. Oh, no, we have 2 lands. All right, so this hand is only missing a payoff, but it does have the 1 ring. So let's keep. Blooming Marsh. Delighted Halfling. All right. Ooh, I cannot kill that, right? Yeah, I can't kill that. So suspend this, play this tapped, and go. Pendelhaven. Casting Grist again? No, casting Hapatra. And another Halfling. All right, these both. So let's see. I can either march one of these Halflings. That doesn't seem particularly great. Or I can just play Talisman. One moment. All right, so if I play Pented Prism this turn, it means I can play the Ring next turn. But that means I don't have more mana if I don't find lands. Whereas Talisman is just a permanent piece of mana. All right, let's run out Pented. Another land, fetch, gets a forest, plays Young Wolf, plays another Young Wolf, and then they're going to hit us and make a snake. All right, Lotus Bloom, we're still a turn away. All right, ring, draw with the ring, play this tapped, and then pass it back. So both the Lotus Blooms come off suspend next turn, so we can have access to a lot of mana. All right, they found Chord Calling, so now they can just Chord for Yawg and then ping pong their creatures back and forth, drawing a bajillion cards. So literally all they have to do, so they can draw 17 cards until they find either Zulaport or Chord, and then we just lose. All right, well, I'll let them do their thing. All right, well, opponent has done their thing. Man, remember when this deck used to mess around with Geralf's Messenger? All right, on to game 3. So I'm pretty sure it's the same sideboard here. Maybe Teferi is incorrect, and it should just be Force and Disrupting Shoal. All right, submit that. Game 3 on the play. Bloom, land. We do have a kill with Selective Memory. All right, I'll keep it. So suspend Lotus Bloom, play this tapped, and then pass. Opponent plays Verdant, pass back to us. All right, let's play that tapped, pass back to them. Fetching Overgrown Tomb tapped, casting Wall of Roots, and then looks like that's all they're doing. Back to us. All right, play a land tapped, back to them. All right, opponent plays a 3rd land, fetches, gets a forest, Orcish Bowmasters, okay. And then that's just enough to chord for Yawg next turn, or on my turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it's not enough. All right, they're passing to us. So now Lotus Bloom comes off suspend. Cast Lotus Bloom. So what are they chording for? Chord for 1. For like Haywire Might? What 1-drop screws this over? If it's Haywire Might, they can't activate it anyway. I probably should just force this, right? But if I force it now, then I don't have the actual mana to do what I need. There's no 1 mana like Pithing Needle creature. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, because they can activate Wall of Roots, right? Because they didn't activate it, so it is Haywire Might. Yeah, all right, so force that. All right, well, we gotta wait till next turn then. Yeah, wait, pass it back. All right, combat. So it looks like they don't have chords, so they're just gonna put us to 17. Playing Yawgmoth, sacking to draw, sacking to draw. So I don't like that the selective memory kill lets them untap and potentially win the game, but do they actually have Beseiju? You gotta be kidding me. All right, Beseiju. Let's play Pented Prism, and then let's play this Pented Prism, and pass it back. So we have to survive 2 turns from Yawgmoth. Bowmasters, okay. We go to 16, and they're just drawing immediately. Sack the Bowmasters to draw. Jaspera Sentinel? What? All right. Back to our turn, and then they're gonna what? Chord for frickin' another Haywire? Or chord for Haywire Might and upkeep? Sure. Chord for Haywire Might, eat this one. Yeah. Okay. Well, we can still selective memory kill. It's just gonna take another turn. Play this tapped. Cast selective memory. And then I probably need to leave 2 oracles because opponent may have access to endurance, so I probably need both of them. So select everything with selective memory. Is everything selected except for the last 2 oracles? I think so. Looks like it to me. All right, done. All right, pass the turn back. So they have to kill us this turn or have endurance. Why? Why this? Sack Jaspera, plays Bowmasters, sacking the Orc, playing Young Wolf, sacking Young Wolf, and the Orc, and then Young Wolf again. Another land, fetch, Dryad Arbor. So that gives them 2 more draws. Or rather, yeah, another draw off the Dryad Arbor here. But they only have 3 mana after that. So they basically need to find, what, Hepatra? Also, if they ever activate their Wall of Roots, it dies, so it's not a creature that they can use to draw more cards. All right, Wolf Sack, 8 cards, 3 mana. Plays Strangleroot Geist, and then just doesn't attack. All right, play Oracle. Oracle trigger. So they can kill the Oracle with its ability on the stack, I guess, if they sack most of their creatures. Uh-huh. So then the Oracle will die. Okay, pass it back, and then I still have another Oracle. So they can actually just deploy more creatures to... Okay, yeah. But then the second one will win even if they kill it, right? Yeah, so they have to combo now or find endurance. So they're just attacking us. We go to 10, play a land, play Delighted Halfling, play Sheoldred, sure. They discard a Blooming Marsh. All right, let's hopefully that this resolves. Okay, so they draw more cards with Sheoldred. It doesn't matter if you kill it, the trigger still wins. All right, we got there. Oh, what a match. On to round number 4. So am I just not supposed to play around endurance? Like, so they knew we were a Belcher deck. I don't remember if they knew that we had selective memory as well. So if they had endurance, they might have just taken it out or just not had it in the first place and not put it in. Round 4 on the draw. What do I have? I have payoffs, but I only have 1 land, so I have to ship this. Mulligan. We have Lotus Bloom and a land, but that alone is not good enough. So if I go Lotus Bloom, land, and then I can play Belcher eventually, but if I don't draw more lands before then, I guess I only have to draw a land, and then I can play Talisman of Progress, and then I'll have enough for Belcher. But I have to play it, wait a turn, and then activate it. It's probably not getting any better if I just go to 5 cards, though, right? It also highly depends on what we're playing against. I will keep this and bin the ring, I think. All right, bin the ring. Fetch. Opponent gets Temple Garden. Plays Delighted Halfling. All right. So, all right, we drew another land. So let's play this tapped, and then let's suspend Lotus Bloom and pass the turn. Unfortunately, our opponent can be a Teferi deck with Temple Garden plus Delighted Halfling. So that's probably going to red, green, legendary, run in 6. Yep. So I assume this is like elementals or something. Forest, another Halfling. All right. So, ooh. Force of negation. No, I can't force the Delighted Halflings, right. All right, so play this. Bolt, play Talisman of Progress. Pass back to the opponent. Ren picks up a land. Cast, I would presume the ring, probably. Unless they're playing Omnath. And they just tapped wrong? No, doesn't look like it. Plays the ring. I should probably just force that, right? Oh, I can't force it, right, because the stupid halflings. Yeah, so that resolves. They draw, breeding pool, and they're probably a Leyline Binding deck too, so even if we run out this Charbelcher, it's likely to get killed. There's Oracle. Well, I can actually play Teferi. So yeah, let's do that. Let's go. When does my bloom come off suspend? It comes off suspend next turn. So if I bounce the ring and then they just replay it, but I don't have the mana to go Belcher shoot you anyway. So may as well just play Teferi. Bounce the ring. There's another Lotus Bloom. Suspend that. And pass. Ren pings Teferi. Teferi dies. Opponent plays their own Teferi, which kills our Lotus Blooms and kills our ability to draw with to kill them with Charbelcher. Yuck. Bounce our Talisman. Sure. So now we just got to play Charbelcher the old-fashioned way. They attack us with the Halfling. We go to 15. Well, can't cast that. So Talisman, cast Serum Visions. All right, well, I guess a land on top. So bottom Oracle, land on top. Man, this is going to be so slow. Pass it back to the opponent. So next turn, I'm going land, Pented Prism, and then trying to go off next turn. Opponent picks up a land, pluses Teferi, plays Fable the Mirror Breaker. Doesn't even care about redeploying their ring. Okay, I guess they have the mana for it. Another Halfling. Doesn't even care about redeploying their ring. Smacks us for 2. We go to 12. All right, play this tapped. Play Pented Prism. So in order to activate Charbelcher the same turn, I have to draw an untapped land. One of only 6 left in the deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fable. They discard Brought Back and a Forest, and a Misty Rainforest. Teferi pluses. And then we're dead in 2 attacks from these things, right? Yeah, 2 attacks plus Ren and 6 ping. So I have to draw exactly one of our 6 remaining untapped lands in the deck, or Selective Memory so that I can play Oracle immediately. Fetch, get a land. Leyline Binding on our Prism. All right, we're dead then, right? Yeah. All right, we can't win anymore. Opponent doesn't technically know what we're on. They just know we're on some kind of combo deck with Lotus Bloom. How do I not lose this? I have to go Skyclave Cleric as a blocker and gain some life. And then there's like no sequence of things I could draw that would let me survive. So yeah, that's the game. All right, sideboard. 5-color Omnath stuff. What do I want? Well, I would normally want Mystical Dispute to counter Teferi, but Halflings mean I can't even counter Teferi. So I don't want that. March kills basically just the Halflings and that's it. So what, I just run it back as the exact same thing? I guess so. All right, submit. The Charbelcher kill here is going to be way harder, so it's probably better to go for the Selective Memory kill if possible. Land, Pented Prism with only 1 color plus Selective Memory is not going to cut it. So mull, we have land, we only have 1 land, so that's another mull. 3 lands, 2 Selective Memories. All right, so we keep this and we put back Shoal Charbelcher. I guess they have what? So they could have counter spells. If they do have counter spells, it's probably likely to be Dovin's Veto. Put back Belcher, put back Disrupting Shoal, I guess. I can't even counter Teferi. Yeah, okay, put that back. Opponent mulls to 6. All right, play this. Pass to the opponent. They just play a land and do nothing. All right, well, play this tapped. Pass it back. Opponent has Xander's Lounge. Windswept Heath. Fetch. Now they're going to play Wrenn and 6. Temple Garden. No, not Wrenn and 6. Boseiju. Yep, can't get anything off of that. Play a land. Go. And now they have the Wrenn and Boseiju loop. How do we get out of that? So I go land Talisman, then they're going to Boseiju potentially twice. They didn't Wrenn the Boseiju back to their hand, so they just have the 1 Boseiju. Haywire Might. Okay, they're eating our Talisman. And they also have Boseiju mana. Yeah, we're dead. Yep, that's the game. On to round number 5. All right, we are on the play in round 5. I have 2 lands, Talisman, Teferi, and Charbelcher. This is probably an acceptable hand. It's turn 1 land, turn 2, play another tap land, play Serum Visions to set up for the 3rd land. It's a slow hand, but it does have all the pieces. All right, I will keep. Opponent mulls to 6, mulls to 5. All right, so let's go play this tapped and then pass to the opponent. Polluted Delta, looks like they're passing back to us. All right, cast Serum Visions. I will bottom anything that isn't a land. All right, that's a land. Polluted Delta could be a lot of things as well. So let's see, land, Talisman, Pented Prism. I guess I want Lotus Bloom, so let's bottom this and top this. And then play another land tapped. And then pass to the opponent. Fetches with Polluted Delta. Gets Watery Grave. Yeah, so it is the blue-black control deck. Swamp, passing it back to us. All right, so let's go Talisman, suspend Lotus Bloom, play this tapped, pass it back to the opponent. Bowmasters, cycles Lorien Revealed, gets Watery Grave. All right, attack with the Bowmasters. We go to 17. So let's see, I can go Teferi, and they have to counter. They're representing counter mana. So instead of doing that, let's just go Pented Prism, done with this. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 when Lotus Bloom comes off. I actually do want more mana, so I will play this tapped and then pass it back. Plays a 4th land. We go to 15 off of the Orcs. Lotus Bloom down to 1 counter left. We drew Slundi Vision. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's enough to go Teferi plus Belcher plus activation, or Teferi plus Belcher plus Force of Negation backup. So at this point, I do not need to play any more lands, so I can Slundi for something. All right, pass to the opponent. Sauron's Ransom. That's fine. All right, well, that's horrible because now they have Thoughtseize plus Counterspell. So I guess I'm going to give them Counterspell, and how much is Murktide if they play it? They won't play it, right? So either of these piles, let's just do this. So that leaves them with a Counterspell, but they only have 2 blue mana. So let's do that. This is the face-up pile. All right, so they took the Thoughtseize pile. So now they have Misty Thoughtseize. So they're going to play Thoughtseize, and I'm just going to counter that. I was trying to make the top pile really appealing for them so they would take that. All right, so that resolved. That unfortunately leaves us with 1 less piece of interaction. So I unfortunately probably do just need to cast Slundi Vision here. All right, cast Slundi Vision. That's the only piece. All right, grab that. Lotus Bloom should come off Suspend now. All right, cast Lotus Bloom. They may just not have a counter spell. Ooh, another Char Belcher. All right, so let's go with Teferi, colorless, blue, white. Because I don't see why they wouldn't have countered back on the Thoughtseize if I countered it. All right, I guess they just do. So they force that. All right, let's go with Char Belcher. So play this, bolt it in, cast Char Belcher. That resolved immediately. All right, blast you. We got there, but now we got to win game 2. So blue-black control, these come in, Leyline come in. They primarily seem to win with just the Bowmasters. They do have Murktide as well, but maybe it is just correct to play Sanctifier. And then cutting a ton of stuff. So, all right, Disrupting Shoal, Serum Visions, second copy of Oracle, don't need that. But then I like everything else. So this prevents them from targeting us with their Bowmasters, and it prevents them from targeting us with Thoughtseize. So it is actually decent. And then all of our win cons are good. Ring is good to outdraw them. We, of course, want interaction with counterspells, and I can't cut lands. I can't cut Lotus Blooms, because those help me outpower them. Can't cut Teferi. This is just awkward as hell, right? What if I just play 65 cards? I guess no, because the mystical disputes actually become bad over the course of the game, right? Because we're just going to pass back and forth to each other a lot, and then eventually they can just pay for these, so they're actually bad. And then I don't need more than 1 Sanctifier. All right, let's do that. I guess I don't need more than 1 Leyline either. All right, that's fine. Submit that. All right, on the draw, game 2 against blue-black control, playing blue-white Belcher. We have only 1 land, not keepable. Mulligan. All right, land, Lotus Bloom, Leyline in hand, another land, Teferi. It has no payoff, but it's good. What am I binning? 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't need all of these lands. So the worst blue land, which is Bane Veil. All right, bin that. Reveal Leyline. Opponent plays an island. Ooh, 2 Lotus Blooms. Suspend, play this tapped. Or no, let's play this tapped. And pass the turn. Cycles Lorien Revealed. Plays Watery Grave. Shocks it in. Lotus Blooms tick down. All right, drew Oracle. Not what we wanted, but let's go play this tapped. Pass it back. Opponent cycles Lorien Revealed. Gets another Watery Grave. Scalding Tarn. Passes it back to us. All right, let's just play Pented Prism. That resolves. Let's play this. Pass it back. So I'm just going to play this the same way I did the other one, which is just play the game of chicken back and forth until I eventually try to overwhelm their counters. Because they know at any point we can just drop Char Belcher and kill them, so they're never going to tap out if they don't need to. All right, cast the Lotus Blooms. Cast the Lotus Bloom. Play another Pented. Then pass it back. So now I just play the waiting game. They're just going to flash Subtlety in. Yeah, that makes sense. To put some kind of a clock on us. All right, so we do have to actually interact with this now. Take 3 to 17. Well, there's Sanctifier. So even though it doesn't stop this, I guess I will play it. They're going to counter Teferi, right? So this is the most expensive card I can play. It also doesn't require me to take counters off my Pented Prisms, but I want to hold it for the turn that I actually try to go off. So let's just go Sanctifier, white. All right, that resolves. And then let's just pass it back. They have another Subtlety to flash in. All right, that's pretty bad. We go to 11. All right, Teferi. This is for sure getting countered. It didn't get countered. I am shocked. All right, bounce one of these Subtleties. Play this tapped. Attack with Sanctifier. I honestly should actually probably play this Thoracle because I just have nothing going on. I need to try to fix my draws. So honestly, let's just play Thoracle. Put any of these back on top? No. I guess the Lundi Vision helps me dig for selective memory, so I'm more likely to find it. Yeah, all right, let's put Salinity Vision back on top and then pass it to the opponent. How do they not counter to Fairy? Like, what if I just have the answer in my hand? Opponent casts Shieldred. All right, so we got a pretty quick clock here. All right, Salinity Vision. This one. We bricked on it. Wow. All right, nothing. Play this tapped. Go. We take another 3 from Subtlety, and we're literally dead next turn because they'll flash the Subtlety that's in their hand back in and kill us. Drawing. Seagate Restoration. That doesn't help at all. How much does this cost? 7, so it's going to draw 1 card. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Leaves me with 5 mana. I have no way to win after that. All right, concede. And let's go to game 3. I think this is probably fine. I guess so insofar as blocking Bowmasters goes, the other Thassa's Oracle is just as well. And they just have other threats. I may also be able to just get stuff down early enough that Mystical Dispute does count. So, all right, this. What can I take out for that? Sanctity, 3 of these. All right, submit this. All right, game 3 on the play. We have a Lotus Bloom, we've got Pendant Prism, we have 2 lands. Unfortunately, they're both the same color, so the Prism is worse. But we also have a payoff, so I don't think I can bin this. So keep this hand. All right, suspend this, play Bane Veil, go. Opponent plays an island, passes it back. Right, just playing this with only 1 counter on it seems pretty bad, but maybe that's just what I'm supposed to do. All right, let's play this, untapped, play Pented. They actually spell snared it anyway. Double island, passing back to us. All right, Bloom. Well, let's just play this tapped, pass it back, play a Delta, back to us, cast Lotus Bloom. It resolves. There's another Lotus Bloom. If I want to play Teferi, I have to sack this Lotus Bloom, right? So what can I do here? Selective Memory with 2 mana up, and then if they counter back, I can only play Jwari Disruption. That's terrible. So let's suspend this, and then let's just play this tapped and pass. Opponent fetches, gets Watery Grave untapped, casts Sauron's Ransom. I'm just going to counter that, I think. They just get 2 cards from it. I just may as well just counter it. All right, land number 4, Lotus Bloom, Mystical Dispute. So I can go Teferi, and then if I try to counter it back, I go Mystical Dispute. But if that fails, then I've sacked my Lotus Bloom, although I have another one coming off anyway. I also have 7 mana total, 5 cards, and I lose my Lotus Bloom. All right, let's go for it. So white Teferi, instantly plays Subtlety. Let's dispute it back. Force a negation, sure. Exiling a counterspell. And now they have pressure. So if I put this back on top, I can't even cast it, so let's bottom that. And my Lotus Bloom is 2 counters away. Opponent plays or cycles Lorien Revealed, gets Watery Grave, shocks in Watery Grave, taps it. Lotus Bloom, All right, let's just try to cast Selective Memory. Now that we're under pressure, I have to try to get under their counters. All right, counterspell, that's fine. Play this tapped, go. So now I'm blind drawing for an answer. Shieldred. Am I just dead next turn? I go to 11, 9, and then I'm actually dead next turn. Wow. So I have to draw this turn an answer. Answer or winning the game. I guess I can technically cast this. All right. It's only until end of turn. Until your next turn. No, it's non-angels get indestructible, so the angels don't. All right, well, I'm casting it. So cast this. I need triple white. All right. Pass. So I can block Subtlety, but if I want to block Shieldred, I have to double block it. They play an island. They're just attacking with both. So if I take 4... All right, let's just block Subtlety. I go to 5 and then 3. Ooh, Belcher. All right, let's see if this resolves. It resolved immediately. All right, pass the turn. No attacks. Oh my gosh, we got there. What a close match that was. Only 2 and 3. So, some thoughts after playing this. I think the Serum Visions are just... So normally this deck would be playing more cantrips, but with the ring out, I feel like the ring just draws you more cards than these. So let's see. Afterthoughts. I felt a lot of the time like I was too slow, like I was too behind, because so many of your lands enter tapped, which means that I want either more lands that enter untapped, even if they are off color. So maybe just play like some of the other Bolt lands, even if they're not blue or white, just to get going faster and use your rocks to fix as needed. I felt like Disrupting Shoal never came up and is too unreliable. I would probably cut all of this. Sideboard, I'm not sure about. You definitely need a way to stop Boseiju loops. So Pithing Needle or just putting a Boseiju-able land into the sideboard that you bring in. I also feel like I want the sideboard to have a Cavern of Souls in it so that when you are in control matchups, you can do selective memory, and then you can stack it so that you have Cavern of Souls plus Oracle, and then so you can resolve your Oracle. Obviously, it doesn't get through subtlety, but it gets through everything else. So that's what I would be looking to change with the deck.